almost exactly 1 year since my last drive here on this stunning property in the Sabi Sands. And what a glorious morning it is turning into. A bit of a nip in the air, but we've already heard the calls of some lions, perhaps a little bit further off in the east. Further to the south, I can hear southern ground hornbills at quite a distance. I don't think that'll come through on the microphone.
Decided to just pull the handbrake up and just to slow down this morning and do a little bit of off the vehicle tracks. Perfect track here in the morning light. You can see I've circled it over here, and what we're looking at is there, and there. I wonder if anybody knows what this could be. It's stepped here, not clear there, so it's obviously walking in that direction, and there are some nails, some claw marks, nail marks, I don't know what you want to call them, in the track. And you don't really see too much in the middle over here, because this animal almost walks as if it's on tiptoes or on a high heel shoe. And sometimes you might look at part of this track and think it's something else entirely, because you're not looking at the whole thing. Remember, if an animal walks somewhere, unless it's a bird that landed and took off, then there's not going to be a whole lot of tracks. But animals normally walk into a track. So if you look at something that looks a bit strange, just walk the line and see if you can find some more of them. And over here, very easy to see that toe and that toe, which some people could think maybe even a small warthog on its own. But then there's this toe over here, and then there's that toe over there. So it's a large bird walking here. And what's interesting is that this toe here is very split apart from those two. These two are actually joined over there. When you see most bird tracks, they've generally got some form of split in between, unless they are webbed. When we look at ducks and geese and the like, there's physically webbing. But the toes of birds are normally split completely. Not always having the back toe, which this one does. Some of them have lost the back toe entirely. But there's a family of bird. Candace, not an ostrich. Ostrich has got a one large toe like this, and then a little one on the side. Not the best drawing in the world, I must be honest. That's what an ostrich looks like. So the ostrich has completely lost the back toe, and they've fused their two toes over here. So you're kind of going in the angle I was going for. But these toes, although they are semi-fused here, they are still split. So this family of birds, we call this track syndactyl. It is just the way it is, with the two toes that are kind of joined together or slightly joined. And it's very, very characteristic of a family of birds. But this one, this knife of mine is 10 centimeters. This track is 15 centimeters long. Now that's a big bird. That's a big bird walking on the ground. And maybe the word ground actually features in its name. So the family of hornbills has got what we call syndactyl tracks. Katie, not Corybusted or Korhan. It is a ground hornbill. Corybusted or Korhan, they do snow angels. So if I do this over here, you're going to get like this. That is a Corybusted track. Upside down snow angel. There's the head, there's the toes. Lacking back toe completely. Now, Corybusted's about this big. Korhan, much smaller but the same design. Thickney, much smaller but the same design. Now this bird here is not putting down any pressure on that middle of the track, whereas Korhans all put down most of their pressure on what we'd call the heel of the track over there. Okay, so before you go away, let me just quickly show you in the book the track of the southern ground hornbill. There's the toe over there, the back one, the three toes forward. You see how close those two are together there, and the nail marks in the front, which enable them to do a little bit of scratching. and digging.
We found some mountain zebras, exactly what I was hoping for, but I'm going to keep my voice down purely because they are looking rather nervous now that the wind has picked up. Now we know mountain zebras are not nearly as relaxed as plains zebras, partially because of the habitat, but also because they're in much smaller groups. But they're giving us the classic, we're going to walk away, but then we're going to come back and look at you and just kind of listen as we go. Look at that one. Oh, that one's at least distracted by something else. Now they're definitely giving us the, we're not so sure about you kind of behavior. And I can't blame them. It is a cold morning after all. It's the kind of time and weather where predators would be out and about, and mountain zebras do not want to take any chances. It's probably taken us a solid 10 minutes just to be able to get this view because they have been a bit nervous. So if they move off, we're going to leave them for a few minutes. We're not going to move, and then we'll try and reposition again. But at this point, it just looks like they're wanting to put a thicket between us and them, which is fine. There you can see that one is still looking at us. They're still hanging around. And they're not quite sure if they want to stay or if they want to go. There they go. Oh goodness, I love mountain zebras. They are so predictable in their nervousness. But this is the perfect habitat for them. I must be honest, you always expect kind of a few more rocks and things when you have this kind of habitat for mountain zebras. But this is almost a mix of kind of grassland, Namakuru, and in some places even fynbos. But the most important thing for the zebras is there's enough graze, which there is. There's a lot of grass, there's a lot of leaves as well if they want to supplement. And there's a nice kind of hilly structure to it. So we've got a couple of hills you can see in the distance. There's quite a few hills there towards the horizon, quite a few valleys and some very intense thickets. This is prime territory.
We have elephants here, you won't believe. Each and every 200 to 300 meters, it looks like this area is covered with elephant. It looks like we're in an elephant breeding project here. There's a lot of elephant. I know that Pridelands, this is one of the area that I've been, which they have more elephant than anywhere else in the part of the Greater Kruger National Park. And it's something that brings them here. Of course, it's all about the healthy food that is around in the area. And water, of course, elephant likes that quite a lot in order to really survive. This is one of the species that is a water mobile species. Without water, they cannot really do well. Even also, it can affect quite a lot on production of the species itself. A live elephant, you can see in most cases, elephants are very much inquisitive. All the time, if a vehicle comes, they want to come and check around. But in most cases, if you get information about elephant, reading more how behavior of an elephant, if you welcome them with your heart, they can read that, they can sense that. I believe that is true. That's raising lions, leopard, they can figure out a person that fears them a lot and take chances to come close to it. If you are strong enough, they can smell from your pheromones or scent. They can really read through that this guy or these guys are more welcoming. They're really happy with the presence of us. They love us. There's raising an elephant. They can read any situations that are around. They can also figure out anything. If you are there to harm them, before even doing anything, they can figure out that and start to move far from that particular area.